Parents, you guys are going through some shit. I had a mom reach out to me. She is looking for some advice. I am going to read her email to you and give her some thoughts. If you have additional thoughts that are positive in nature because this situation talks to you, please drop in the comments below. Okay, here we go. Hi, I have two sons, 25 and 19. Both are out of the house and financially independent. I am honestly struggling with about every aspect of this transition that you can imagine. Remember, I've said this transition of parenting from when our kids are launching from high school through their mid-20s can be the most mentally challenging time. I'll start with my oldest. He's in the military, dropped out of college after 2 years because he wanted to enlist. Not our first choice at the time, but we supported him, and he has been very successful with his military career. He has a problem with drinking. 3 years ago, he got a DUI and got a demotion of sorts at work because of it. He only sort of sees a problem. My husband doesn't share my level of concern on this. He feels our son will grow out of his drinking issues. The biggest problem with my son at the moment is he's married. His wife is also in the military. They're living in different states, and he found out a few months ago that his wife has been having an affair and she will not end the marriage. Since that time, his drinking has escalated and he seems depressed. He will not listen to us. It's heartbreaking and maddening to watch this happen to him. What do we do? My younger son is 19 and he has several health issues. He lives with his girlfriend and her mom and stepdad. This son has chosen marijuana as his drug of choice. He claims it helps him feel better. I try not to judge. He works a trade, is saving money, doing the right things, but I'm worried sick about him taking care of himself. I cannot make him see the potential long-term effects his heavy marijuana use will cause. He thinks I'm just a product of Nancy Reagan's "this is your brain on drugs." Despite all this information, I actually feel I have a pretty great relationship with both boys. Yet, I'm embarrassed to admit I'm feeling a little disappointed that they didn't turn out more like I expected them to. I feel I spent the better part of 25 years having the answers, and now I don't. The stakes are so high when they are older and making these choices. At a loss and find myself essentially feeling like a failure and wanting to just throw in the towel with both boys. Help! Even though these are different kids and different life situations and they're different ages, I'm going to give you the same advice. And it may be nothing you want to hear. As a mom of 5 kids myself, one of whom is now 12 years sober, I can tell you that you can hold space for their feelings. You can let them know how you feel about their alcohol and or marijuana use. But if they're going to change, it has to come from inside of them. You mentioned they're both independent, and therefore you are not enabling the behavior by financing it, which is fantastic. I've spoken in other videos about the fact that there was a time when my son was in his active addiction that I literally was so concerned about his future. And one morning I woke up with the knowledge that I did not know why my son was in the world. I had literally no control as he was in active addiction of whether or not he was going to get behind the wheel of a car, whether or not he'd be in a 3-day blackout or maybe make it through the week without drinking. I mean, I literally had no control. I also knew I did not know why he came into the world and what he potentially was going to have to go through in order to become who he was meant to be. As parents, we do not want to see our kids make choices that are unhealthy or take them to places that are scary or that take them off the course of what we find is a successful life. These young adult years are sometimes the most difficult to parent through. Listen, sister, you are not a failure as a mom. And sometimes we have to grieve for what didn't happen with our kids or how they maybe didn't turn out that way. It's okay to grieve. It's just not okay to keep spewing it on your kids and telling them where they have failed you, because they haven't failed you. They came into the world with their own blueprint. You were gifted the opportunity to guide them into their adult lives. Do not throw in the towel, but know that you only can control your portion of the relationship. I know you know that intellectually. It has to get into here.